Gail, what did you do before retirement?
I was a nurse. The last 20 years I worked in women's health.
Does being a guardian ad litem volunteer take someone special?
So I think anybody could do it. You just have to be committed and realize you have to be very flexible.
What training does guardian ad litem provide to prepare you for the job?
There's a certain amount of training they have to go through. I think it's like 16 or 20 hours. And so I had to do that training. And then you do that, and then you have to take some other education, and then you work with the supervisor a little bit who helps you with your first visit and then writing your notes. And then, so I started probably in September or October, and I got my first case in November. So
Aren't there really enough volunteers in the guardian ad litem program?
there's not enough. There's not enough guardian ad litem people for all the kids that are removed from the homes. Yeah, there's not enough. And there's a lot, but it's not enough. Unfortunately, there are a lot of children being removed from their homes. And that's the last, the county doesn't remove, well, I mean, I can't speak for any other county other than Hillsborough, but they don't take it lightly to remove children. Usually there've been several calls to the home and several things have happened before they actually remove the children. That is the last thing they want to do, is remove children from a home.
How does the guardian ad litem program get involved in a child's life?
Children are removed from a home because the court has decided that it's an unsafe place for them. And then the court requests that they get guardian ad litem.
Well, what's a typical day like?
Well, there is no typical day because every day is different. Depending on the cases that you have, dependent on what their needs are at the moment. Some days you have to go to court. Some days you have to go visit. Some days you're searching for information. Some days you're talking to the parents. Sometimes you're talking to the relative or the foster parent. So every day is different. There is no typical day. I can't say in one day it's 10 hours and the next day it's 4 hours. Every day is definitely different. And each case is totally different. So, I mean, there is no typical day. Really, there isn't.
Well, how do the children benefit?
The benefit is that we advocate for the children. There's a case management agency that is technically responsible for the children to make sure their daily needs are met, daycare, doctors, to make sure they kind of on a day-to-day basis deal with the foster parents or the relative. But I will say that the case management agencies are totally overwhelmed.
What do you get out of volunteering for guardian ad litem?
Well, I mean, you hear the stories about these kids and, whatever you can give them to make things better for them, I get a lot out of that. Plus, I feel like I'm giving back to my community, and that's really important to me. But these kids really need people to advocate for them. Their parents have failed them in some ways, not all ways, but they have failed them, and they need someone to be there in their corner and advocate for them. Someone who really, they're their prime, focus. And I just helping those kids.
What would you say to someone thinking about volunteering for the guardian ad litem program?
You have to be really committed, because if you're not going to get anything from this. You have to be able to give your time and effort. And so that's my only thing. You don't want to tell people to do this unless they're willing to do that. For those of us to do this, you have to really love kids. And when you see the smiles on their faces, when they're happy and when they're getting things that they need and they're fed and, they have clean clothes, that's the best reward that you can get. You've done something for them, and that's it. It's helping these kids and giving them a better tomorrow. They're our future.
Thanks, Gail.